Have you ever heard the statistic that 80% of construction defect litigation is water related? Well, guess what? We build wood framed houses, and wood is an amazing building product, but bad things happen when it gets wet, and especially when it stays wet. Now, the build show today, we're gonna review a bomber waterproofing product that I think you should be using if you meet one of these two categories. Number one, you need to be a builder like me who builds in the hot, humid South. Basically in Austin, Texas, cut across the country to Dallas and go down. That section, climate zones 1, 2, or 3A, I think this is the most bomber way that you can waterproof your houses. And number two, this is meant for high exposure houses. Houses that have flat roofs or no overhangs. Houses that have high exposure clients or high exposure architecture or in nice neighborhoods that you wouldn't want to have a problem with that house. Isn't that most houses, frankly? Today's build show, jumping into the entire system that I've been using now for almost 2 decades. Sponsored by Polyguard. Let's get going. Okay, so if you met those two criteria, let's talk about waterproofing and why it's so important. First off, we build our houses with wood. I love wood. What an amazing product. God created these trees that grow in the forest and suck up this water so they can grow super tall. We can cut them down and they can be structurally sound for centuries. I've visited houses in Japan that were wood that were 1,000+ years old. But guess what? Once we put this 2x4 into a house and finish all the layers, now it can't dry anymore. And if it can't dry, it's gonna die. So we need to waterproof this once we get out of this framing stage and make sure that this wood is not gonna get wet in the future. We also wanna make sure that air doesn't leak through here, because air, especially in the hot, humid South, brings with it a lot of moisture, which can lead to condensation. You know, if the air out here is 80% humidity and it leaks in through an outlet, underneath this bottom plate, any kind of opening in the wall, and lands somewhere in this wall cavity, it's very likely gonna find a cold condensing surface, which is gonna lead to mold growth and other nasty things. So when it comes to water and air sealing, we've got to take this incredibly seriously. That being said, this is the product that I've relied on more than any other for my high exposure homes in the hot, humid South. This product is by Polyguard. It's actually made in Texas. It's called UV2-40. Now, if you've seen my old videos, I've been using this a long time. In my old videos, I called it Illumiflash. They've changed the name. The name UV2 stands for UV exposure for 2 years. We've got an aluminum face here, and the aluminum face is gonna make sure that product doesn't break down in the sun. That's a big deal for me, especially because my houses tend to take a while to build. 2 years is not unusual as a build time for me. You may be thinking a year is a normal build time, but remember, every other product you might use probably has a limited UV life. We've all seen those houses with white house wrap where the logos have faded off. Guess what? They were overexposed, and they will actually continue to degrade even when they're in the shade later. This product with that aluminum facer is really bomber. So we've got 2 years of exposure. The UV2-40, the 40 stands for 40 mil. This is a very thick product. It's got an asphaltic peel and stick backing on that aluminum that actually has some nail sealability. Let's check out the specs real quick, and then I'm gonna get into how it's installed. First off, water vapor transmission. This is right off the spec sheet. 0.00 perms. You cannot dry through this product, and that's why this is not a product for you if you're watching this in the north. This is a product that we want to use in the south because we can dry to the inside, and we're actually going to stop some of that moisture migration from going through our walls with a 0 perm product. So we can use this if we're in the hot, humid south, but we don't want to use this if we're in the north. If we're in the north, we want to use a higher perm product, higher than 0, that's for sure. The other thing I really like about this product is if you look at the spec sheet here, one of the categories is nail sealability, and the test method is ASTM D1970. This is a little nerdy, but stay with me here. I looked up that test method online, ASTM D1970. This is a test method for polymer modified bituminous sheet metal products proposed for use as underlayments on roof eaves or valleys, or both, to prevent leakage of shingle, tile, or metal roofs from water backup due to ice dams. So in other words, that test is made for roof, ice, and water shield type products. And it means that the nail is going to seal on this product even if it was used for roofing, let alone what it's going to be used for walls. So when we penetrate the heck out of this with our stucco staples, with our screws for our cladding or whatever, this actually has some nail seal ability. The other nice thing obviously about walls is we have gravity on our side as well, right? So if we can have some nail seal ability and we're using this on a wall, we want some gravity helping us. The last thing that they mentioned on the spec sheet that I don't think everybody thinks about, this, because it's aluminum faced, also gives some benefit to energy efficiency as a radiant barrier as long as we have an air gap in front of it. So for instance, this house that I've got going on here, I'm going to be using some exterior mineral wool insulation that will be tight up against this. I'm not going to get the radiant barrier benefit. If I would have omitted that insulation and just had an air gap behind my stone, I would have gotten the radiant barrier benefit. But I'm not necessarily using that for this. I'm using this because this is a bomber waterproofing product. Okay, y'all, let's switch gears and talk about the install guide. First off, if you're going to use this product, make sure you download this. I want to tell you, this is a really straightforward product to use, and there's not a lot of tools or frankly a lot of parts and pieces needed. It's one of the things I like about this system. Before we start putting that UV 240 on the wall though, this is a step that I really like, and that's sealing this critical joint between framing and concrete. In the South, this is a super highway for bugs. This is also where the most rot happens on houses, so we want to take some extra care and detail this correctly. We're using this product right here. This is Blue Barrier Gap Filler, or BBGF. This is a bit of a thicker product. It almost feels like spreading toothpaste, right? And what we're doing is we're spreading this water and air barrier. It's a fluid applied weather barrier at the base of the house to connect concrete and wood. This will stick to both beautifully. We're especially focusing on that joint where the wood overhangs the concrete to really caulk that tight and keep that seam tight. But we tend to go up maybe 2 inches onto the wood and down 2 inches in the concrete. This detail we did with the tape isn't required. You won't see in the install, but you'll see when I pull it off, it just makes everything nice and neat and pretty. Makes for a nice detail. Now this house has a rock exterior on it, so I really didn't necessarily have to do this bottom tape joint. This is all going to be covered by an exterior masonry facade on this house, but look how nice that looks. Now we could have just used the gap filler product though at any gap up to 3/4 of an inch in depth, and then we could have come over top with another product called Blue Barrier Liquid Flash, or BBLF. That's a little more viscous, a little more fluid, a little easier to apply and make look really neat and pretty than this one. But it's really your choice. It's the dealer's choice. If we've got gaps, we want to use this. This has some fibers embedded from the manufacturer so it can span those bigger gaps. Once we let this dry a little bit, we're going to move on to step 2, which is the primer. All right, next up, the primer. Remember, we want this substrate, this OSB sheathing, whatever we're using on the outside for wood sheathing. It needs to be dry, it needs to be clean, it needs to be frost-free, and we need to be a minimum of 40 degrees Fahrenheit or rising, which again, when you're a Southern builder, that's most work days. Now we got 2 options on primer. You're gonna see us use most of the time the primer right here, which is in the dark bucket. This is a solvent-based primer. They also make a water-based version of this, 650 WB. We're actually using the other one, which is solvent-based. It's called Clear Bond. What's gonna happen is when we get this primer on here, for my old man builder friends, you'll recognize the analogy. You remember doing those laminate countertops where you'd spread the glue on, you'd spread the glue on the other side, and then once the sticky on sticky happened, there was no way to unstick. That's what's gonna happen here. Now we've put a chalk mark on the wall. This comes in a 36-inch roll. We're gonna have it stick down a little bit. I can't remember, Chewy, what'd you do? Those inches?
Right now it's 1 inch.
1 inch, okay, so 1 inch below, so this is at 35 inches from bottom of sheathing to this chalk mark. The idea is we're gonna flap that down a little bit and let it hang long. But this is gonna dry fairly quickly in this hot, humid weather. I mean, probably 15 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. So let's let this dry and we'll keep going. All right, y'all, so this is a peel and stick membrane. So it's got a backer. We're gonna peel that backer off. And it's really important, if we're gonna make it look nice at least, to put a chalk mark where you wanna be. So this chalk mark is 35 inches. This is a 36-inch roll. You also notice we ran the primer into the rough opening here. So we're bringing this material all the way into the RO. In this particular case, we've got a door that's coming into the space, and we've got a little bit of a stem wall. And we're just gonna smooth it with our hands. We'll maybe use a Bondo type scraper. And then we will roll it too. We're gonna use a hand roller on this to make sure we get that adhesion. And I said earlier, but if you've ever done a laminate countertop, this is the same kind of process. Once this sticks, y'all, look at this. It's already stuck incredibly well. This is not coming off. It's one of the things I love about the product is that once it adheres, it's not going anywhere. No wind is gonna flap this off. Also notice there's no cap fasteners, there's no staples, nothing. So it's gonna severely reduce the number of staples through it. We said earlier, one of the big benefits of this product is its UV resistance. This is warranted from the manufacturer. It says it can be uncovered for up to 2 years. That's a really big deal for my jobs that take a while. We'll roll this on today, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if it's 9 months or even 12 months potentially before the mason comes and we've got our rock facade on the outside. So this is gonna be exposed a long time. And if I come back to this job, but the only thing I'll notice is the blue barrier product may be a little faded. The aluminum will look like the day it's installed. Now we're gonna keep going on this. You wanna follow the manufacturer's recs. This isn't exactly a full install guide, but just generally speaking, you do wanna know that we're gonna overlap these. Let's verify what they say. They say a 2.5 inch side lap. So if I had a sheet that stopped here, I'd want to overlap it 2.5 inches. And we want a 4-inch end lap. So as I put that next sheet on, I'm going to overlap this shingle fashion. The other thing you want to remember about this product is this is a 36-inch roll, but they also sell this as a 6-inch, 9-inch, or 12-inch width. So when it comes to installing windows and getting your rod openings correct, you might want to have some other roll sizes besides this roll size right here. Next up, you're going to see Chewy's going to go ahead and making his marks for the 4-inch overlap. And then when we prime, we're actually going to prime that overlap as well. Anytime we put the product onto itself, we're also going to prime that aluminum to again get that really good sticky on sticky. Okay, while these guys are getting set up on the second layer, I want to mention a bunch of the tools we're using are available on the Polyguard website. You can order everything we've done on this job straight off the web, have it delivered to your job site. They have a really good e-store and they've updated their website not too long ago. So they've got a bunch of tools on there, not even tools that you'd necessarily use today, but they've got a lot of nice stuff on there. And like I said, you can have all of your UV240, all of your blue barrier delivered straight to your job site from Polyguard. This is an employee-owned company, which is really cool, and they're right out of Ennis, Texas, which is right outside of Dallas. So for me, this is a local company. Just like we did before, you'll see these guys kind of wiping it down with their hands, and then we're gonna go back with the roller. And once he rolls it, you'll see, you can kind of see that texture of the OSB coming through, but you can see how well that's adhered. That is not going anywhere. I'm not going to go into all the details on window install, partly because we're not quite ready for that yet on this job. I do want to mention though that these seams, there's one additional step that we want to take on any of the seams and overlaps. And in the commercial world, they call it stitching the seams. You can use either the Blue Barrier gap filler or the Blue Barrier liquid flash. And we can put a seam of that adhesive right here, knock it down with our knife, and that's gonna act like glue. You know, my understanding is that the genesis of the chemistry of this product was originally developed in the 1970s in Japan as a windshield adhesive. And if you think about windshields, you know, they definitely need to be watertight, and you don't want that windshield flying off if it's glued down. So that's where this chemistry comes from for the Blue Barrier family of products. And actually, you could do your entire house in Blue Barrier if you wanted to, But the reason why I like the UV240 is, again, because of that really long lasting, no issues with UV rays over the length of time. So look at that. It took us just a few minutes to do 2 sheets. It's a pretty hot, humid summer day. So I originally was like, oh, we're gonna let that primer dry for 10 minutes. I think we ended up having it dry for like 4 minutes. It was really no big deal. This is actually a pretty easy product to apply. Is this more expensive than, let's say, standard house wrap? Absolutely. But I would tell you, if you're watching this video and you're in the South like me, you shouldn't be using standard house wrap. That is a garbage product. It's gonna have problems. It's really hard to install correctly, and it doesn't lead to efficient, durable, healthy, long-lasting houses like this method does that I just showed you today. If you want to learn more, go to the website. I'll have the links in the description below. Of course, you can buy direct from these guys. It's also stocked locally in a ton of supply houses in the South. And lastly, I want to say a thanks to all the craftsmen and women that are working on my job sites around Austin, Texas. I've got a ton of trades like you saw here that have been working with me for almost 2 decades now, doing great work day after day, driving their grandchildren hopefully by this project in 50 years and saying, hey, Grandpa worked on that house. So I want to say thanks particularly to Kate and Corey, Elijah, Arlo, and Cora. Thank you for your great service, and thanks for your craftsmanship on this project in particular. Guys, if you're not currently a subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content here every Friday. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, otherwise we'll see you next time on The Build Show.